our Zoom membership, as well as our YouTube channel members and community, and our netizens who have joined us right across the world from their own home or places of work. And of course, you know what the new thing is, right? It's not citizens alone. Now we have netizens, because the internet has now become a world on its own. Netizen, that's where it's at. All right, we are going to go to our featured presentation. We are continuing in the book of Judges. We have been doing a lot, and last week we looked at Gideon, and you know, Gideon failed. Gideon failed after all that he did. Gideon, he did like Samson. He had many wives. And then he had a son. And that son was called Abimalech. And Abimelech was, hear this. So he had 70 sons, or 70 boys, or 70 children, I think. To be safer, 70 children. And then there is a woman from Shechem, technically an outsider. No, if you got 70 wives and there's a 71st wife, how come this 71st wife child is an outsider? You got 70. What makes the other one an outsider? Well, we're going to be focused on this child called Abimelech, and his pride is going to be seen at the point of death. So join me tonight in the book of Judges, and we are in chapter 9. I'm reading King James Version. And Abimelech, the son of Zerubbabel, went to Shechem unto his mother's brethren. This is his hometown and his own people. And he communed with them, and with all the family of the house of his mother's father. So Abimelech is gone back to his hometown and he's having a meeting, right? With all the family of the house of his mother's father, of his father's house. All right, father-in-law's, grandfather's house. And this is important because he's the one having that meeting. And he said, I pray you in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you, either that all the sons of Zerubbabel, which are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one person reign over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. I know Sister Peterson is going to lock onto this one. I am your bone and your flesh. So Abimelech is saying, there are so many. Will you allow the many to rule over you, or you will allow me? I may be an outsider, but consider this. I am your bone and I am your flesh. And his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words. And their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech. For they said, yeah. He is our brother. He is our brother. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal-berith, wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons which followed him. So the vain and light persons now were his counselors, his ambassadors, those who were giving him advice. Vain and light persons. So you can imagine that his downfall has already begun. And he went unto his father's house at Ophrah, and slew his brethren, the sons of Zerubbabel. Now 70 persons he killed in one place. Notwithstanding, there's one named Jotham, the youngest son of Zerubbabel, was left, and he hid himself. So So Abimelech is making certain that there is no threat to his ascension to king. There's no threat to his throne, no threat to his leadership. So he's killing off his siblings. And all the men of Shechem gathered together, and all the house of Millo, and went and made Abimelech king by the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. Now, this is almost like a the moment. If he killed everybody else, who else are you going to be? What's going to make into king? And when our world get to that place where the people in charge, leaders, start to kill everybody around because they don't want any competition, they don't want any threat, we are going to be in a bad place. And when they told it to him, when they told it to Jotham what Abimelech had done, he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim and lifted his voice and cried and said unto them, hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, that God may hearken unto you. Now, I want you to pay attention, right? Because Jotham, he's going to be speaking in parable. He's going to be speaking in a parable. So it's a parabolic language. So just at first it might seem a little bit hard to catch on, but you're going to get the idea. Remember now that Abimelech has killed his brethren because he alone wanted to reign. All right. So here's Jotham's parable. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. But I know you know who the trees would be, right? The trees went out to anoint a king over them. I hope you get that, right? So it will be talking about his father's house. And they said unto the olive tree, reign over us. Of course, you know who the olive tree is. Reign over us. This is going to be Abimelech. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over trees? Almost you're nothing. And the tree said to the fig. So the trees said to the fig. So once the fig was, the trees were talking about the olive. All right. They were talking about the olive. And the olive responded. No, they're talking about the fig. So it's the same thing he's saying. So the olive is still the fig. He's just changing the language here. All right. And the tree said to the fig, come thou and reign over us. Same thing. But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said the trees unto the vine. So the tree spoke to the olive, tree spoke to the fig, tree spoke to the vine. Come thou and reign over us. And the vine said unto them, should I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said all the trees unto the bramble. So you're just getting worse and worse. Then said the trees unto the bramble, come thou and reign over us. And the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth he anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the seeds of Lebanon. So the bramble would be the worst. And the bramble is saying, if you anoint me king, then you must come and put your trust in my shadow. If not, you are going to be destroyed. Now, therefore, if he have done truly and sincerely in that he have made Abimelech king, if he have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done unto him according to the deserving of his hands. So what Jotham is saying now is that he's saying that you have dealt Jerubbaal disrespect. You have dealt with him disrespectfully. For my father fought for you and adventured his life far and delivered you out of the hand of the Midianites. And you have risen up against my father's house this day. and have slain his sons, 70 persons, upon one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his maidservant, king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother? That's what Jotham is saying. So that's what the parable is coming around. These boys choosing Abimelech. If he then have dealt truly and sincerely with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice ye in Abimelech, by all means. And let him also rejoice in you. If you think that what you did in killing off your brethren is fine, after Jerubbaal, my father would have respected you enough to protect you. Well, if you have chosen Abimelech and you decide to kill my father's children, well, rejoice. Both of you rejoice with each other. Go have fun. But if not, if you have dealt Jerubbaal, if you have dealt him with disrespect, let fire come out from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Millo. And as a matter of fact, let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Millo and devour Abimelech. You can see the juxtaposition here. Let the fire from Abimelech devour them, and let fire from them devour Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled and went to Beer and dwelt there for fear of Abimelech, his own brother. Now, Abimelech would have chosen bad people to govern him as a leader. And Jotham has spoken because he knew they would have dealt with his father unfairly. Now, when Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. And I guess somebody have a question on verse 23, but write it down for the after session, right? The question and answer segment. So God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. Jotham just pronounced it, well, almost 3 years ago. That the cruelty done to the 70 and sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brethren. And the men of Shechem set lairs in wait for him in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all that came along that way by them. And it was told to Abimelech. So now the men of Shechem, they're against Abimelech, and Abimelech is against them. And Gal, the son of Ebed, came with his brethren and went over to Shechem, and the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. And they went out into the fields and gathered their vineyards and trode the grapes and made merry and went into the house of their God and did eat and drink and cursed Abimelech. So you see, they joined forces with a friend who have now become enemy. And that enemy who had friends, the trees, are now enemies to him. And Gal, the son of Ebed, said, who is Abimelech? Now, I want you to remember this. Right? Gal, the son of Ebed, said, who is Abimelech? Who is Shechem that we should serve him? Is not he the son of Jerubbaal? And Zebul his officer? Serve the men of Amor, the father of Shechem. For why should we serve him? And would to God his people were under my hand. Then I would remove Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, tell you what, Abimelech, increase your army and come. It's thrown down the gauntlet. Build your army and come take me on. And when Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gal, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. And he sent messengers unto Abimelech privately, saying, behold, Gal, the son of Ebed, and his brethren, be come to Shechem, and behold, they fortify the city against you. So now Gal has now allied himself now with the men of Shechem. And Zebul now went now to tell Abimelech that they're in alliance and they have now fortified the city against him, Abimelech. Now, therefore, up by night, that's Zebul talking to Abimelech, thou and the people that is with thee, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, thou shalt rise early and set upon the city. And behold, when he and the people that is with him come out against thee, then mayest thou do to them as thou shalt find occasion. And Abimelech rose up, and all the people that were with him by night, and they laid wait against Shechem in 4 different companies, like 4 different places. And Gal, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And Abimelech arose, and the people that were with him from lying in wait. Remember, Gal is the one who's saying, let him build his army and come. And when Gal saw the people, he said to Zebul, behold, there come people down from the top of the mountains. And Zebul said unto him, no. Thou seest the shadow of the mountains, man, as if they were men. Now remember now that Zebul is the one who went and told Abimelech what to do. So now Gal is looking and he's seen people. And Zebul is saying, no man, this mountain you're looking at, and they look like people. And Gal spake again. Yes, man, see there. Yeah, man, there are people down in the middle of the land. Yes, man, there are people there. And another company come along by the plain of Mohiniman. No, Gal is looking, and Zebul is saying that you're not seeing what you think you're seeing. Then said Zebul unto him, where is now thy mouth? Wherewith thou sayest, who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Is not this the people that thou despise? Well, tell you what, go out, I pray you, and fight with them. Now Zebul is now saying, you were bragging and telling that Abimelech should build his army and come. Well, here they are before you. Zebul would be the traitor. And Gal went out before the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him. And many were overthrown and wounded, even unto the entering of the gate. And Abimelech dwelt in Arumah. And Zebul thrust out Gal and his brethren that they should not dwell in Shechem. Zebul do it. Push out Gal. And it came to pass on the morrow that the people went out into the field. They told Abimelech. And he took the people and divided them into 3 companies and laid wait in the field. And look, and behold, the people were come forth out of the city. And he rose up against them, and he smote them. And Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And the other 2 companies ran upon all the people that were in the fields and slew them. Now watch this. And Abimelech fought against the city all day. And he took the city and slew the people that was therein and beat down the city. And he sowed it with salt. Nothing can grow there. Abimelech, who have killed off his brethren, is making certain that the others now die. Those who made him king. He's killing them. But watch it. And when all the men of the tower of Shechem heard, they entered an hold of the house of the god Berith. The hold would have been like a stronghold, a place of safety. So they went into this place where they had the god called Berith. And it was told Abimelech that all the men of the tower of Shechem were gathered there. And Abimelech got him up to Mount Zalmon, he and all the people that were with him. And Abimelech took an axe in his hand and cut down a bough from the trees and took it and laid it on his shoulder and said unto the people that were with him, what he have seen me do, make haste and do as I have done. And all the people likewise cut down every man his bow and followed Abimelech and put them to the hole and set the hold on fire with them, so that all the men of the tower and Shechem died also, about 1,000 men and women. So what they did, right, they cut down some branches and something and lit the place. Burn it with everybody inside there. We don't finish yet. Then went Abimelech to Thebez and encamped against Thebez and took it, another city. But there was a strong tower within the city. And thither fled all the men and women and all they of the city, and shut it to them and got them up to the top of the tower. You can remember the tower that was in the city of Babel. All right. And Abimelech came onto the tower and fought against it and went hard onto the door of the tower to burn it with fire, like he just did. And a certain woman, I do not know why the Bible did not tell us her name. I just wonder why, but it's okay. And a certain woman cast a piece of millstone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break. She dropped a stone in his head and break his skull. Break it. One woman. And out of shame and pride, Abimelech hastily called the young man who is his armor bearer, and said to the armor bearer, draw thy sword and slay me, that men say not of me, he got killed by a woman. Even in death, pride was strong. And his young man thrust him through, and he died. Look, the woman killed him. Well, the woman really mashed him down. But yes, he was killed by a man. But he was defeated by a woman. His defeat was by a woman, though he died by the hand of a man. But as much as he wanted to take shame out of his eyes, he was defeated by a woman. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed every man unto his place. Thus God rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, in slaying his 70 brethren. The father had so many of them, he's just one outside. And I don't know how you have 70 wives, well, 70, many wives rather, 70 children, and one woman is said to be an outsider. And this boy had some level of jealousy being the outsider. He decided to kill his siblings. But as much as he's killing the men, one woman defeated him out of pride. And all the evil of the men of Shechem did God render upon their heads. And upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Zerubbabel. Remember now that Jotham was the one who said, you're going to call this man to serve you. But my pronouncement is this, that you are going to hate him and he's going to hate you. He's going to burn you and you're going to burn him. They're going to cancel each other because both of them did wrong. And so they canceled each other. When we get over to the book of, when we get over into the chapter with Samson, please remember I gave a question from last week. Did Samson commit suicide? Right now, let's go to our question and answer segment, since we are now at the end of our featured presentation. We just completed chapter 9 of the book of Judges. If you have any question at this time, please be reminded that the program is being recorded. We don't want overlapping of a conversation. So if you wish to engage any part of the presentation, just raise your hand or indicate by opening your mic, and John will direct you to the front. For those in our YouTube channel, you know the rules. Just go ahead and text in your commentary. Again, if you're inspired by something, if I was saying something and I didn't say something that you thought could have been said, that's fitting, please drop it in. And even if you think it's not fitting, but you feel inspired that, yeah, that could have also been said, We love to hear it. This is not a preaching point. It's a teaching thing. I need to learn from you. We need to learn from each other, the teaching, learning, engagement. Right. So don't be afraid. Just bring up the question, bring up the commentaries. And if you're inspired to say a word, let's hear it. All right. The floor is yours. Tonight we look at Abimelech. All right. And now we recognize him from last week. He was that boy that was on the outside. And I don't know if he felt badly, but he went and destroyed his brothers. I don't know. He just went and said, I am your brother and I want to rule over you. And so they canceled each other. That's what they did. If you have questions that are not related to the presentation, you're free to bring those passages or those questions on the floor likewise. It's called open question and answer segment. Again, the mic is open. Any commentary, any question? Anyone there, John?
Melissa, hand is up.
Okay, thanks, Alyssa. Melissa, go right ahead.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Pastor.
Hey, night, Dana.
It's me tonight, not Dana.
Okay, I'm just
or
trying.
not Dana as yet.
Okay.
Sir,
Go
just
ahead.
wondering, what happened to Mr. Traitor? That's the Zebul person. Do you believe that he was one of them in the hole? Because remember, he would have locked the city, So I'm just thinking that he would have tell them, go to that secret place and hide because he would have known how powerful this man was, Abimelech was.
That's interesting. I never ever thought of it. And he was never mentioned, but they all died, right?
Right, they all died.
I guess I could vote for that. Passage is silent, but out of deductive reasoning, we could bring that into a good discussion, a good commentary. It's likely that he died because he's of the city, right?
Right, he would have been of the city.
And they all retreated to that place of safety.
Retreated to the place, right.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
Okay, sir. I was just wondering that one.
All right, thanks for wondering that one and wonder some more.
Thanks, sir.
All right, cool. All right. Go ahead, Jan. Or Alyssa, sorry.
Okay, in the Zoom chat. Barbie said, good night. You said they cancel each other. Did some kill some? Explain, please.
All right, so remember now that Jotham was arguing, was pitting Shechem against Abimelech. All right. But remember now that Abimelech would have gone to destroy them. But no, Abimelech went to another place and he died there. All right. He went up against that. So even if he died and 1,000 persons were left alive, then we know that they were defeated. And if you notice that the men ran away when they heard that he died. So it's the defeat then. So it's just like what Jotham would have wished, or I would have pronounced, that both will become enemy. And that way I said that they cancel each other. The throne was no more theirs. Then if you have a follow-up on it, Barbie, just a matter that Jotham would have said, both of you would become enemies. And that was fulfilled. They became enemies. If you have a follow-up on it, let me know. All right, anybody else? Again, I want to apologize for those persons who are not on. Please note that they're still going through challenges with electricity and internet connectivity. Some are without water still as a result of the hurricane. All right, go ahead, Auntie Alicia.
All right, Barbie said thanks, and Sister Alet's hand is up.
Sister Aleph, go right ahead.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
In regards to the woman, I was just thinking that I'm gonna parallel this story of the woman with David and Goliath. How no one expected a young David to slay the giant.
Mm-hmm.
And so in synonymously that the women were seen as weak, not carrying out certain duties, or it just shows how God could use the weak to be courageous and to kill a mighty person. And that's how I was looking at it, to say God could use anyone. We should not be fearful as long as we trust God. He could use us to do his work and to do his glory. Doesn't matter how big and great the work is. I wanted to say that.
And you're absolutely correct, because we remember in Alice that all that is happening is this. Israel is brought into the land to punish the people, right? God's
Right.
instrument. But Israel failed, and God is using them now to punish the Israelites. No,
Mhm.
they are pitting against each other. And like you say now, that God is going to use a woman now to punish Abimelech. And if you notice, I'm glad you mentioned that. I did not do that comparison, but I like it. I was thinking about Sarah and Jael with the girl who got that 10 peg and drive through his ears.
Hmm.
But you notice, right? I don't know, Alec, but this is God's doing, right? He directed David's hand with that stone
Yes.
to Goliath's head. And this woman, however far she was,
Exactly. It's a milestone. It's like a
she
mile. She
um,
hit it right there.
I mean, she took that millstone. Now, a millstone is what you used to grind corn,
Yeah, the millstone. Yeah.
grindstone, grind things. No, Sister Alet, you know how heavy that stone is to be grinding, crushing the corn? And this woman did not, I don't know, I want to say that she did not roll it. I'm the one saying that.
Yeah.
I really want to exaggerate it. She lifted that millstone and she looked beyond the helmet, looked beyond all of the armor, and she saw the man. This was all God's doing, though.
Yes.
And she let it go. Now, it didn't just hit him, it cracked his skull.
Yeah.
And he knows he's a dead man. And he knew it was a woman who did it.
Mhm.
And he said to the armor bearer, don't let them say a woman killed me.
Pride.
But he was dead anyway in his pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for making that comparison. I did not see it, but I'm glad you mentioned that. All right, thanks, Alec. Go ahead, Auntie Alicia.
From Sister Yvette in the Zoom chat,
Mhm.
was God using anyone specifically during this time?
No. I'm glad you mentioned that, Sister Yvette. No, the answer is no. So when we look at the build-up, right, God would have spoken to Adam. Then he would have spoken to Cain. Then he spoke to Noah. Then he spoke to Abraham. Then he spoke to Isaac. Then he spoke to Jacob. Then he's using Joseph. Then he's using Moses and Aaron. Then he uses Joshua. Then he was using the elders. So you see how you progress, right, from individual to a doublet. Then it was now a group of elders. Now it was any random person called judges. So there was no one particular person that he was using. It, however, he would have gone to elect that person. It was not even from a lineage as such, right? And very, very good observation to say that. And that's what they were called judges. I'm glad for that commentary. All right, any other person have any other thing? Please, let's keep it going. It's a Bible study. It's a discussion. Anybody, somebody? All right. One thing to everybody is this, right? That as we look at the development, right, and we're going to get over to a guy named Tola and some others next week. But when we get down to Samson, we're going to settle in a little bit because he's going to be a prime person in what's going on here. And I really want you to stay with the studies. You know, we're moving over to the New Testament, but it's very good to build the context and the background and foundation of the New Testament. And when we get over there, we can better understand. And I want to say this now. Well, I want to say it. I'm saying this now. Jesus was born in the Old Testament. That's why the Bible said that he was born under the law. It was still the time of the Old Testament. So the judges are going to come on the scene, and the judges fade out from the scene. All right? Then we're going to get to the kings, and we're going to get to the prophets. And we're going to remain with the prophets, until Christ came and John the Baptist came, and they ended the priesthood and they ended the prophethood. And it now just transitioned into Christ. So Christ was born in the Old Testament. Christ lived in the Old Testament. So all that is going on, Christ became the end of it. And when he died, the New Testament began. Christ only lived maybe a few, maybe less than 2 months in the New Testament. He lived all his life in the Old Testament. And maybe after 40, 50 days, he was off. So he just lived less than 2 months in the New Testament. So all that is going on is going to lead up ultimately to finally the Messiah would have come. All right. Very good perception right there, Sister Yvette. Go ahead, Auntie Alicia.
Okay, from Sister Yvette again in the Zoom chat.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Bible say the ages of Adam and Eve when they died?
It says that Adam died when, well, let's go read it. Let's go to Genesis chapter 5. It didn't mention Eve. It mentions Adam.
All right, Genesis chapter 5.
Right. Chapter 5, and we are going to look at verse, where are we? Sorry. Verse 4.
All right, chapter 5, verse 4.
Oh, sorry, my bad. 5, verse 5.
Okay.
Sorry.
And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died.
So it did mention the age of Adam, but it did not mention that of Eve. All right, thanks, Sister Yvette. Please keep the questions coming, everybody. Don't let Sister Yvette alone. We're asking them. So as we look at the whole progression of things, right, is that in Genesis 3:15, it was promised that Christ was going to come. And all that we're looking on the progression that led to the birth of Christ. So all of these different persons would have led Israel. And when Christ came, Israel rejected Christ. And it's a narrow bridge because Israel rejected Christ, and then Israel will accept the Antichrist as the Messiah that they have been waiting for to rule over Israel. So Moses went, and Joshua went, and the elders went, the judges went, the kings went, the prophets all went. And so the Israelites are looking for that one person to lead them. And the one person came in the personage of Christ, the image of God. They said, no, it's not you. And when the Antichrist comes, that's when they're going to accept and say, this is the Messiah. And so all of this history is now the context and the background and the fundamental, give us the fundamental and all the details of the New Testament. Right? So as a people of God, we remember now that after Christ went, then he said to the disciples, you're in charge now. You guys are in charge. Go ye therefore and tell people about me. So all of us here, all of us, we are now the ones that the Lord has called on. So would have been using, people singularly and use them in a duet form. Then he would have used a group of elders, and he went to the kings and the prophets. Then he now says, all of you who have accepted me must now go into the world. So we have also been drafted in, right? All right, just let me know when you're ready, Sister Auntie Alicia.
Next question from Sister Yvette. Do you have to be a Christian to receive forgiveness from God?
No, you don't have to be a Christian to receive forgiveness from God. You have to be a person who is out of relationship with God, whether you're a Christian or you're a sinner, to get forgiveness. So the reason for this, for forgiveness, can be a Christian can have the reason that why forgiveness is needed, and the sinner can also have the reason why forgiveness is needed. So only when you would have violated the laws of God that you'll need to be forgiven. So you don't have to be a Christian. A sinner is especially needed. A sinner especially needs to ask God for forgiveness. And the Christian also needs to ask God for forgiveness. Because if the Christian does not ask God for forgiveness, you see, you're moving away from, I did commit a sin. I did not ask for forgiveness. Then it now reach around to, I am now committing sins. So as I continue to commit sins, I am now becoming a sinner. So it's the one who have rebelled against the laws of God that needs forgiveness, whether you're a sinner or you're a Christian. Right. Now, as we continue to look at these different leaders coming up, right? Remember now, right? We're looking at Abimalech and Zebul, and we're looking at the men of Shechem and so on. And just consider in our churches today, God would have called us to go into the world and lead people to him. Look at us right now. We are our own type of Abimalech. We're our own type, fighting against each other, destroying each other. We're doing the same thing. And we're fighting against each church, like we're trying to cancel everybody out. And they're trying to cancel us too. And so the people of God in rebellion with each other is no better than Abimelech. No better than Shechem, that is led astray to choose a leader who is vain and doesn't have God. Pride, leaders with pride. So when we look at ourselves, we are in that same lineup like all the others, because God had called them to lead his people, and he has called us. How different are we than all of the judges that we have studied, inclusive of the women? How different are we? We have the equal responsibility to be that vanguard that leads people to God. So sometimes we look at these terrible behavior of these judges and kings and leaders, and we, turn up our noses against them. We too, as leaders, fighting against other leaders, fighting against other churches, we are no different. We are no different. And I encourage all of you in Face Facts, let us use the word to serve God and serve people. Don't use it to destroy each other. All right, go ahead, Auntie Alicia.
Okay, from Yvette, who are the Nephilims?
The Nephilims are giants. Well, it's a Hebrew word that means giants. If you want to follow up on that, you could let me know. But Nephilims, well, the Hebrew word, as a matter of fact, that Hebrew word, Nephilims also mean bullies, not just giants. Also mean bullies. If you have a follow up on it, let me know. But that's all they are. Nephilim, just giants. And giants are natural human being, just that they're overgrown. Go ahead and tell you, Sam.
There's a follow-up question. What were their purpose?
They have no purpose. They are just human beings, like human beings. Because all of this is after sin, they, like any other short person, should serve God. So they're giants, but we can't say that they have a purpose because they're giants. Like Shaquille O'Neal, he's giant to some people, but he played basketball. Giants are just giants, the pituitary gland just, and they grow up tall. So it's not that they have a particular duty versus the dwarf. And I do know, Sister Yvette, I do know that there is this erroneous teaching that giants, especially in Genesis chapter 6, that giants are the product of fallen angels and mankind. I can tell you that is a lie. And if you have never heard it before, let me show you. Let me show you this. I'm going to do 2 passages to show us that it cannot be true. Right? Then, all right, sister, Auntie Elisa, let's do Genesis chapter 6.
Genesis chapter 6.
Right. And we are going to do verse 4.
Okay. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
So, this is a verse that many people use to say that fallen angels had sex with human girls and they produced giants. Now, let's look at the evidence that they produce. Verse 4, I'm parsing it. The scripture says, there were giants in the earth in those days. What days are we talking about? When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. So the sons of God here are angels who have sex with girls. They could not have produced giants because the first part of this verse says that there were giants already in the land in those days. And it goes on to say, even after those days, the giants were still in existence. So the writer was just using the time frame of when giants were on the land. That's when the sons of God slept with the daughters of men. So the evidence doesn't fit the claim. It is wrong. But the verse goes on to say, right? And they bear children to them. The same became mighty men, which were men of old, men of renown. So it's the sons of God and the daughters of men that produce mighty men, but mighty men are not giants. So because giants are big means they're mighty. We cannot look at it that kind of way because the usage of in those days, giants were in the land. They were there before. So they could not have been the product. They could not be the mighty men, the men of renown. So the evidence that is being produced is absolutely false. To concretize that fallacy, let's go over to Jude and verse 6 until Lisa.
Okay, Jude, verse 6.
Right.
And it reads, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
The Bible tells us that the fallen angels are locked away. The day they fell, they got locked away. Reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. So if the fallen angels fell, and by the way, fell doesn't mean drop to earth. It just means they lost their status. If you notice the verse in Jude, they did not keep their first estate. They were given a responsibility equally like Adam and Eve to not, when I say equally, right, not in the same instance where Adam was told to dress and keep the garden. But I'm just saying that they were given a responsibility and they failed to have kept that. Just as Adam was given a responsibility to keep the earth and dress it, and he failed likewise. So when the angels fell, it's not a fall from up there to down here. It was a status, a loss of status in relationship with God. Just as Adam fell, a loss of status between him and God. So out of disobedience, both mankind and angels, they lost their first relationship, their status. So the argument that sons of gods here in the passage in Genesis are angels is incorrect. So the question is asking, who are the sons of God in Genesis? There's no other answer than let's go to Auntie Alisa to Genesis chapter 4. And we're going to read we're going to read verse 26.
Okay. Genesis 4, verse 26. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
So if you read chapter 3, where Adam and Eve fell, it transitioned into chapter 4, where Cain killed Abel and Cain was driven out of the land. Cain became a vagabond and a wanderer. But Cain is having children, and the children are creating a civilization. Their volume is being populated, and they are growing. They have real estate, they're doing cattle, they're making ornaments, they're making music. They have a big civilization going. So remember now that Abel died. So the name of God was never mentioned, was not being pronounced amongst the people of Cain, because they're a vagabond, children of vagabond. And as a result, they are not calling the name of God. Therefore, the scripture brings us back to Seth, who has a son named Enos. And when Enos came on the scene, men began to call on the name of the Lord. Could have been his own siblings, immediate siblings, as well as other people. Then men began to call on the name of the Lord. So these are the sons of God. And so chapter 5 of Genesis is a chapter about genealogy. So you could just bring that genealogy passage down and connect chapter 4 with chapter 6. And then you could read now, then men began to call on the name of the Lord. And then the next verse is going to be chapter 6, verse 1, and say, and it came to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters are born to them. And it goes on the sons of God. So these are the sons of God, the children that were now calling on the name of God. They are the sons of God. Later on in St. John, let's go over there, St. John chapter 1, verse 12.
St. John chapter 1, verse 12. Just a sec.
That's okay.
Okay, verse 12.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm at First John. All right, St. John chapter 1, verse 12. And it reads thus, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name.
And that did not change. If you believe and accept the Lord, you become the sons of God. Enos began to call the name of the Lord. And those who accepted his direction to God, they started to call on the name of God. They became the sons of God. There's no way angel, even if sons of God mention angels here or there, no matter where, in chapter 6, it cannot be angels. Because the scripture says that giants were on the land, in the land already. So if you want to say angels are also called sons of God, by all means, they call on the name of the Lord too. But chapter 6 is not those angels, nor any other angel. These are the sons of Anak. So giants were just tall people. And at one time, the writer in Genesis used them as a reference to say, when the giants were in the land, that was a time the sons of God started to intermarry with the daughters of men, the children of Cain. And can you imagine why the Lord had to send a flood? Because Cain just killed Abel. The godly line is dead. Now Enos came, the godly line has emerged, and then the devil now step in and the godly line is about to die again. Send the flood. That's it. But after the flood subsided, giants were still on the land, because that's what verse says. There were giants in the land in those days and even after those days. Not fallen angels. All right. All right. If there is no other question, we are going to bring our session to a close. Please remember that tomorrow morning session, we are starting at 10:30, and we are going to be over the lovely resort at Irwin, where Kyle and Michelle will be hosting us. All right. All right. Anything there, Auntie Lisa, before we wrap up from our YouTube channel or in the Zoom platform?
Oh,
Sir.
that's it for both chats. Oh, go ahead.
Sir, I was just saying, sir, could you explain some more? Because I guess that's where we got it wrong with the angels that fell, sir. No, I understand, sir, when it's only the dragon was kicked out, those angels was just fall from grace.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's where not just me, everybody got it, sir, like the angels just fall out of heaven.
oh, like they
So
fell like and drop on earth.
right. So no, I actually see where it's saying that it was just the dragon that was kicked out.
Yeah. Only
This open a different. It just opened my eyes different to see that now.
and that's why we need Bible studies, Auntie Michelle, because the preaching thing is not telling us some details.
Because everywhere you go, you see like, or even everything you watch, you see like angels are falling from heaven. So just come on me saying it was just the dragon that was kicked out.
Yeah. So just as like Adam fell,
Right.
it's about relationship fall.
Mm-hmm.
No, to confirm exactly what you're saying, right? Auntie Lisa is going to read Revelation 12 and verse 9.
Revelation 12 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it reads, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him."
So he was cast to the earth. The angel were cast to the lake of fire, locked up. To confirm it that only the dragon was cast to earth, let's go over to Job chapter 1 and verse 7. So the angels fell by status in relationship, because they did not do what they were supposed to do. What that was, we don't know. But we know that Adam fell just the same, and he did not do what he was supposed to do. He fell likewise. But listen to Job 1 verse 7.
Job 1 verse 7, "And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it."
That's what the dragon does. This is not fallen angels or demons that people make up. There's no demons walking up and down. There's no fallen angels walking. It's the devil. It's the devil that does this. To confirm it, let's jump over now to Luke chapter 4. And let me just make a commentary on that. That now the Lord is saying to the dragon, where you been? And the guy said, well, from to and fro the earth. All right.
Luke 4.
Let's go to Luke 4, and we're going to look at verse 5 and 6.
Luke 4, verse 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
"And the devil, taking him up into the high mountain, shewed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whosoever I will I give it."
Clearly. So in Job, the question was asked, where you been? He said to and fro the earth. In another passage, the Bible said that the devil is like a roaring lion seeking whom he will devour. You don't hear about no demon is like a roaring lion. There's no demons in the first instance. You don't hear about fallen angels are like a roaring lion. Only the devil is. And he has no minions walking behind him. Now in chapter 4 of Luke, the Bible says that he is showing Christ the world, the kingdoms of the world. There is no tour guiding fallen angels to give Christ the tour. It's the devil. He's the real estate guy. He owns it. And he's saying that I can give this to you. Now, if he gave it to the Lord and the fallen angels are running up and down as minions, then now the Lord would not be in charge of fallen angels, right? The devil is not working with nobody. The only body that the devil is working with is you and me. We're the only ones he's using to pit against each other. No fallen angels. They are locked away. They can't come out. They will never come out until Revelation chapter 9. They're not coming out. And the devil doesn't have any key to do anything. So the whole matter of giants being the product of fallen angels and girls don't make no sense. It's erroneous. All right, go ahead and tell Alicia.
From the YouTube chat.
Mm-hmm.
Just this sec. Okay, from the YouTube chat, we have Real Life 805.
Right.
Please explain, if the world was flooded and only one family was left, how was it that giants were in the land after the flood?
Very good. All right. So I won't use the Bible passage here, but I could. It's a regional flood, not a global flood. You see, let's use the Bible passage to confirm what I'm saying. Let's use 2 Peter and Alicia. I'm telling you, it's not a global flood, it's a regional flood, and that's why. I said 2 Peter.
Yes.
2 Peter chapter 2, and let's look at verse 5.
2 Peter 2, verse 5.
Yeah.
And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
Not the whole world, but the world of the ungodly. It's the region that was sinning. And how do we know they were sinning? Because they were now mingling with the children of Cain. Enos is, not Enos alone, right? But those who were calling the name of God were now mingling with the children of Cain. The children of Cain is not global. The children of Enos and those believing, they're not global. We don't reach that globality yet. This is still chapter 6. So the flood is regional, not global, and that's why you got giants after that. Let's ramp it up a little bit now. Let's go back to Genesis, and we're going to jump up to chapter 10.
All right, Genesis chapter 10.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just read verse 1.
Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood.
Right. So now sons were born after the flood, and you could look now, all of that lineage going down now. These now are, so these three boys are going to be now ones going to populate a little bit more space on the earth. So you're going to find out that Shem is going to be moving towards the Canaanite region, just a little bit up to Cush, up Eritrea, Ethiopia. Then you're going to find that Japheth is going to move north to the Caucasus Mountain, the Caucasians. All right. And then the Hamitic stock is going to be seen right there on the continent. So this is how it's going to be populated. Now, when you go to chapter 11 or verse 1 until this year.
Chapter 11, verse 1.
Right.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
If you notice, right, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech because the people are still one. Now, for those who are very good, well, for those who are not scholars, for those of us who are interested in Bible studying, if you notice, chapter 11 is a continuation from chapter 9. Because when you look in chapter 10, let's go back over there, chapter 10. Someone can help me find this here. I am looking for the different languages. In chapter 10, I'm searching it myself right now. I'm going to just, because I want to show you that chapter 11 is before chapter 10. Right? Look at verse 20 for argument's sake, right?
Verse 20,
Yeah.
These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations.
So if you notice, right, these boys are the ones coming out of the ark, and they're the ones populating the earth, and each one had their own language. Each group had languages amongst them. You could read through chapter 10 and you could see it, right? They had languages there, right? Now look at verse 5 in the same chapter.
Verse 5, By these were the isles of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations.
But when you read chapter 1, verse 11, it said the earth was with one language. So chapter 5 and chapter 10 are genealogical passages that you could remove and put anywhere you want to. So that's why you read chapter 4 and then go over to chapter 6. Then you read chapter 9 and you go to chapter 11. That's why chapter 11 verse 1 says that the earth was with one language, speaking about these that come out of the ark. And then they were divided up now throughout these three. So chapter 10 could be put at the end of Revelation for all we care. So the flood is a regional one. The population got larger now with these three boys going off with different languages. Well, going off and then create their different languages. So the question is, how could we have a flood, earthly flood, and we still have the giants after that? Well, simple. It wasn't a global flood. It was a regional flood. The flood affected the world of the ungodly, not the world. So even though you see the Bible about the earth is just that area. Just the same thing with Lot and his two daughters. The two daughters said that there was no man upon the earth to impregnate us. But Abraham and his hundreds of men lived just upside them on the mountain. So the earth to them was just their family. There was no man on the earth, meaning that there was nobody among us. Same thing. It's a regional flood, not a global flood. But thanks for the answer for the question, though. All right, if there's a follow-up, let us know.
I think that's it in the chat so far.
Okay. All right, not a problem. All right, with that said, we are going to be wrapping up. If there is no final question, or commentary, well, let me say thanks for those of you who have joined tonight, especially Siobhan. We're happy to have you joining us tonight and hope to have you again tomorrow morning, if you can. Or next week is just fine. To all our new members, we're happy to have you joining us still on the program. Again, please be praying for those who are hit by Melissa, whether in Jamaica or the other countries or the other places. Just be praying for them. But just to remind you that the population in Jamaica online is going to be a little bit low because many persons are without light. Public electricity. I am without public electricity, and there are many also without water. And of course, once there is no electricity, communication is DOWN, down. So just be praying for them. Not just I want them to recover to come back on the platform, but you really want people to get back to a place of normalcy. We know we cannot go back to where we were, but the new normal, I hope it will be comfortable and it will be an upgrade to where all of us would be coming from. Again, thanks for joining us here. This is Faith Facts Fellowship International. Our office is located at 39 Church Street, Montego Bay. We are in non-denominational Bible study group. We are also a registered charity. We believe in biblical tithing, that it has to do with caring for those who are in need of help. So this is not a church for us to say it's a church. And Marco, we're a church because we believe in the ecclesia, that we are the call out one, plus all the other people that are Christians around the world are the ecclesia, the church. In other words, the four walls is not the church. We are the ones who go into those four walls. So we are the church. And so Faith Facts Fellowship International delves into Bible studies. We are more into this than we are into preaching. We preach when it is preaching time. All right. And we're happy to know that you have joined us, and we pray to God that you would have learned something tonight. And what you learn, remember to be responsible for it. Never use it to destroy anybody, to put them down or belittle them and cause them to feel anywhat badly. You know, if it's a engaging discussion, you can with loving passion, state your claim, but never be destructive with it. And sometimes it's best not to say anything if you're going to be hurting people or causing people to feel low. It's better not to say something. God will open a way for them to learn, maybe not from us or from you. Or maybe at the end of the day, God will bring them back to us or to you to for them to learn something. And remember now, we don't have the answers to everything. So there are times we need to hush. And when people are talking or they're teaching or preaching, learn from them likewise. Right? So I'm saying to you, be responsible for the information that you have. Never use it to uplift yourself and make anybody worse. And remember, strive to be the best, but not better than anybody. And don't forget, although you're a Christian, real things happen to real people in a real world. I'm going to ask you to bow your hearts with me as we give God thanks for tonight's studies. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for another opportunity to delve into your words, to study. We observe the behavior of Abimalech and his colleagues. We observe how you intervened. We observe how you kept your justice. You brought Israel into a land to judge pagans, to judge unsaved. And when Israel began to rebel, those who should be punished, as sovereign God, you used them to punish Israel. You are a just God. Yes, Israel was chosen, not because they are better than anybody, but you just call them to go tell people your words and they failed. We're asking you, Lord, that we will live up to our mandate as a chosen generation and a royal priesthood, that we will show forth your glory and you will be glorified. We want you, Lord, to be the one magnified. We want you to be the one seen. So help us, God, in our daily lives to reverence your name and to share your name amongst people. As we seek to leave this platform, we pray, Lord, that we will never leave your presence. Again, we thank you for your word. We thank you for your will. We thank you for your way. Keep us now in your name, we pray. Amen and amen. God bless you everywhere. Have yourselves a blessed day. Tomorrow we meet at 10:30. The same link for tonight is the same link for tomorrow morning. Give attention to the outro that you will see, and pay attention to the credits at this time. The voice you hear is that of our very own Auntie Andrea. Good night.
I was all cried out, my emotion drained from the batter of the rain.